بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, and welcome to another episode of Defense Against Disaster. The first time here on Peace TV, and I'm your host Gabriel Al Romaani. And if you've missed the previous episodes, again, I remind you that you need to go back. You need to view them. You need to take notes. This is a course. These are not just episodes that are meant to boost your iman just by viewing them. These are episodes that are supposed to, inshallah, teach you how to defend yourself. Against what? Against disaster. What is this disaster? It is intellectual apostasy, spiritual apostasy, leaving Islam. Is this something that's happening today? Yes, it's happening a lot. A lot of times we get fooled into believing that everything's fine, that we are safe, that nothing is, no problem. The reality is that believer is always on guard. He fears for his faith. Why? Is it because I say so? No. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told us that towards the end of time, there will be people who will wake up as believers, go to sleep as disbelievers. They'll go to sleep as believers, wake up as disbelievers. People exit Islam. Some of them faster than the arrow exits the bow. And if you want a reality check, just browse through the media. Just look at how many so-called organizations that are supposed to bring you the truth, meaning to liberate you from Islam. How many are there? How many so-called groups that are fighting against Islam? They are flooding now public areas with announcements. I remember some ads that were placed in Michigan, for example. Do you want to leave Islam? We can help you. Stuff like that. How many websites operate? How many TV channels, satellite channels, social media, articles, you name it. They're trying to flood the platforms. Then one day, be it on TV, be it on satellite, be it on social media, be it on a website, you will stumble upon one of these arguments, one of these confusions, and it might cause you a doubt. And sadly, and wallah alim, this is not some kind of conspiracy theory. This is not something that decided to make. This is something that we know is taking place. Look around, look at Africa, look at India, look at the spread of missionary work. Look at their policies, look at their procedures, look at their manuals. I remember one of the imams visiting an African country and finding that the missionaries there decided to build their churches to look like mosques. They even decided to make a call to prayer. They even decided to remove the desks and the chairs in the church. Why? So it looks more like a mosque. But you see, it was not. This is a deceptive technique to bring people together, to bring the other people to the other side, to say, look, we're not so different. The reality is the difference is striking. It's huge. The difference is the difference between heaven and hell. Yes, we have a lot of commonalities, but the main things that really matter, that make the difference, that make it or break it, are huge. It's the difference between Tawheed and Shirk. It's the difference between the law of God and abandoning it. It's the difference between right and wrong, ethics and morals, and so on. So, the Imam said that he saw it. People coming. Now, if someone wants to present to you their faith They will do it. They'll give it to you. Hey, look, this is what we believe in. That's it. Not play around. Not try to make you confused. That's not correct. If someone wants to present to you their faith, they come forward and say, this is what we believe in, and it's better than what you believe in. Not that, what you believe in is very bad. No, you want to prove that yours is better. You want to show why. Not that the other one is so bad and then fail to show what's on your side. You don't want to convince people to join your faith because theirs is bad, supposedly. But see, these are some of the approaches that people take. I remember myself going there in Africa and seeing how the missionaries work. So if you want to go to a school, for example, a very good school, you should become Christian. If you want to go to do something, to take a good job, or to be part of an orphanage, for example, and that's what we were involved with, you should be Christian. But that's what we found. People with the name Suleiman wearing a cross. Muhammad wearing a cross. Muhammad wearing a cross. Yes, Muhammad wearing a cross. And when you ask them why, they'll tell you why, if they remember, if they're not too young. And they say, what could we do? I remember going to an area where there was a missionary and asking the kids, who brought you this faith? And they pointed out to a house, and I went and walked there. And I found this guy, two ladies. And I talked to them, what's going on? And they denied it. And then they said, no, it's some other people, not us. So we left them a message, said, look, simple. If you want to discuss with someone, come and discuss with someone who can actually entertain the discussion. Don't fool children. Don't fool people. Don't come with the Bible and the bread. It doesn't work. That's not the correct approach. That's not the correct approach to deception. That to the Jew you become a Jew, and to the Gentile you become a Gentile, and to each their own. This was the Paulinian approach. Deception, confusion. Sadly, due to political reasons, as time passed on, it became the official religion. History is clear. The books of history are open, brothers and sisters. See, a lot of people don't want to look back. If you want to know how did you get here, you need to look in the past. Why are people scared? Why are people scared to understand? To know, to look at the dates, to look at the names, to look at the information that's present there. Where was it borrowed from? And so on. What were the circumstantial evidence that accompanied a certain act or a certain event in history, such as Christmas, such as Halloween, such as Easter? From where? How? Why? And then imagine people get stuck in this vacuum. If someone tells you December 25th was the birth of the pagan Roman God, the Son, people say, no. December 25th is Jesus. How? In the Bible, it says that Jesus, at that time when he was born, the shepherds are out with the sheep. That doesn't happen. Anyone who knows, be it Christian or Jewish or Muslim, who live in Palestine, they will know that there's no such thing. It's winter. The sheep don't go out. The shepherds are not with the sheep. And not just that, looking into Roman history, what happened? What were they celebrating on the 25th? When was it integrated? See, there's a system that was created that's not from God. And for a person to be sucked into the system through manipulation, information, and lies, is not correct. And it's so sad to see so many people being sucked in. And I'm not talking about only Christianity. There's many, many other religions and ways that are directed towards Islam to pull people and their lies and their deception about their prophet, about the Messiah, about the Mahdi, twisting information left and right, twisting a hadith. And that's the funny thing. They all use the same procedures. They try to look into our own books because they say, well, you believe in that. Imagine a Christian comes and tries to prove Christianity from the Quran. But the deception is very obvious when you analyze it. At the first look, it sounds very convincing. Why? Because they use things that you're familiar with. They use sources that are credible to you. And if you are not ready to understand, you get slowly sucked in. That is a very important point to remember. We're going to take a short break, inshallah, and we're going to continue right after this.
وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا.
Al-Aziz, the Almighty. Al-Wadud, the All-Loving. At-Tawwab, the Acceptor of your return. Al-Razzaq, the Provider. Al-Raqib, the All-Watchful. وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى. To Allah belongs the beautiful names. فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا. So call Him upon them. To understand more of Allah's beautiful names, join me, your brother Majid Mahmoud, on my new series about understanding Allah's beautiful names on Peace TV.
الله لا إله إلا هو له الأسماء الحسنى.
Don't miss the chance to comprehend the seamless explanation of Allah's beautiful names in Understanding Allah's Beautiful Names. Every Saturday at 7 p.m. and repeat telecast at 12 p.m. India on Peace TV. Peace TV presents over 100 million viewers at one of the largest peace conferences in the world, addressing a sea of spellbound spectators. Over 30 world-renowned orators on Islam with credentials impeccable.
The truth of Islam.
Deen is your way of life.
It is our duty, our obligation.
By following the Quran and Sunnah,
we will give the message to one and all.
With articulation exquisite.
Read the book of Allah.
Islam is the easy way. It's the simple way.
Remind each other.
The Muslim is not a source of harm for other people.
Collaborate with the people for good.
This is the call of Islam.
With the mission of spreading the truth of Islam.
Do what you can to spread the word of Islam. Wherever we are.
live like Muslims.
Use your power.
Allah is saying, why do you need anything else? This Quran is self-sufficient.
The only book on the face of the globe, the Quran.
How a human being should lead his life is given in this instruction manual, the glorious Quran.
For peace to prevail on earth in Peacemakers. Next on Peace TV.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. Before the break, we gave you another overview of the techniques, the communality, the same approach that a lot of the groups use when they want to give da'wah to Muslims, when they want to remove believers from the fold of the faith. But you see, the way they package it is to create doubts in your mind. And that is why, for example, Ibn al-Arabi, may Allah be pleased with him, wrote this book, Al-Awasim min al-Qawasim, Defense Against Disaster. I remember very well interacting with these people and how they don't try to show you that their aqeedah is correct, They don't try to show you that their faith is correct. They try to sow the seeds of doubt in you. If we move on, you find other groups who are attacking. Certain groups, extreme groups, who will try to twist understandings and tafsir of the Quran, hadith, and so on, for you to believe that you should be asking for the awliya and the saints, that you should be believing in this and that, which will obviously, again, remove you from the correct path. Nation of Islam, okay, and their anthropomorphic beliefs about Elijah Muhammad, about Louis Farrakhan, and so on. And what do they use? Again, they will go to the texts. You got the 5%ers after, okay, with all the popular rap and pop songs and so on, some of the famous ones who are part of their groups, and how they attract the youth. And we can go on and on. In the end of the day, if you were to summarize all these groups and all their ways, you will find, number one, that they try to look into the texts of the Muslims and try to confuse them by using those texts. Number two, they will try to put doubts and actually question the validity and the character of certain people that were close to the Prophet ﷺ and close to Islam. And three, they will use sometimes different ways that are not halal, such as music, and sometimes, believe it or not, even women and so on. And this is not correct. We say, as Muslims, we invite dialogues, we invite discussion, to talk, to sit, to debate even, but using correct means, not deception, not lies, not twisting around left and right, trying to cover things, try to, take things out of context. But the danger is there, brothers and sisters. You see, the danger is there. And that is why we're offering this course. If someone is not trained, if someone is not ready, if in your community there's not someone who can stand up, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. In your family, if you don't have enough knowledge, it's dangerous. So to review from previous episodes, what is the best approach to arm yourself intellectually? Don't misquote me here. To arm yourself intellectually. Number one, as we said, to have knowledge. And knowledge of your own faith before you have anything else. Knowledge of Islam, to be firm on Aqidah, to have proper belief, to understand Tawheed, to understand the requirements of the Sharia, and to understand, to an extent, the life of the Prophet ﷺ. Very important. Not to be shocked by the novelty effect, as we said before, right? Meaning, something that you've never heard before. You have a certain measuring stick that has been molded and formed by society and the culture. And when that does not align with what you see in the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, you start doubting. There's anxiety because they don't allow. Two concepts don't allow. They don't align. So you get anxiety, and then anxiety can result into doubts. So you have to have knowledge. You have to have the basics of Islam under your belt. Be strong. Then have a place to fall on when it comes to Iman. If it's Tawheed, let it be Tawheed, and that's probably the most important one. The Quran being the word of Allah, and that's probably one of the most important ones. The miracles of the Quran, the miracle of the Hadith and its sciences, and how it was guarded, the protection, with the fact that the Quran is memorized by millions of people. Something to keep you always, that if you are somehow in doubt, or you're weak, or being attacked, to get back to it, to step back on it, to be like, I know I'm safe in this place, and then I can move from there. Because if you don't have that, you don't have a safety zone, it's very easy for the shaitan to attack you. That's the zone that you reset back to. When you're in danger, you reset back to that zone. It's familiar, and then you can move on again from there. It's your starting point. So have knowledge. If you decide to engage, what we said, with people in da'wah, make sure you don't step out of your boundaries. Make sure you stick to what you believe. You stick to what you know. Don't go outside of that. Even if people ask you questions, even if they say, no, you have to tell me. How you don't know, you torment you. Say, I don't know, and that is very important in my faith. Because my Prophet said, whoever says, I don't know, he has given a fatwa. And that's a correct fatwa, because he doesn't know. Tell him that I don't know. So this is what my religion tells me, as opposed to speaking and lying and saying things that it will be accountable for, or misguiding you. If you don't know, another step, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Go to the people of knowledge. Direct them to the people of knowledge. If you've done that, maybe you're in a different situation now, you can't. Okay, go back, remember, to step number 1. Tell them, look, we can talk about this later on, or the right people, but let's go back to basics. And that is, again, of course, the existence of God, the Tawheed, and so on. Remember that your da'wah has to always, in the end, somehow result in these people understanding or being presented with Tawheed and what Islam means, and to be directed towards reading the Quran, the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then from there on, you've done your job. إِنَّمَا عَلَيْكَ الْبَلَاغُ وَعَلَيْنَا الْحِسَابُ. On to you is just to give the balagh, to talk, to communicate, to tell them. It's up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take accountability of these people. Keeping all these procedures in mind. You move forward, you give da'wah, you're strong, protect your community. Again, we're asking also, for you watching this, where is your involvement? Where is your cooperation? Where is your part in this da'wah? We complain. We say nothing's being done, or look, we're being attacked in the media and so on. And how many people do we have out there defending Islam? Alhamdulillah, we have. But how many people are specialized in actual propagating Islam and defending Islam against those who are intellectually trying to destroy it? A few. How many Ahmed Didas do we have? Allah yarham. How many Zakir Naiks do we have? Allah yarfad. How many? Not so many. Right? We need to create, to keep this alive, to make sure that we have the people who will keep the light going from those who are trying to put it off. The deen of Allah will continue. It will move on. We have no doubt about that. The question though is, are we going to be on that train? Have we, or are we, or will we participate in this endeavor? This is the most important question that we need to ask ourselves. Are we going to be part of it? And what have you done? Oh, I can't do anything. I don't know anything. Okay. We said one of the general counter techniques, I believe, is to start seeking knowledge. Put a plan for you. Put a curriculum for you. How many opportunities are there now on the internet? If you cannot travel abroad, or you don't have an Islamic university in your city or in your country, there are also TV channels that you can learn from. There's many programs all over that you can have access today. So if you say you don't know, then learn. But if you cannot, then participate, donate, give charity, support these programs. If you cannot, find what kind of skills do you have and participate from those skills. Whatever you're good at, and everyone is good at something, see how you can use it for the sake of Islam. And you'll find, subhanAllah, with the proper niyyah, inshallah, on the day of judgment, you'll find a mountain of gold, of good deeds waiting for you, inshallah. We ran out of time, mashallah. It's, this topic is very, very vast. But we always have to go back to the basics. We always have to review as to why do we talk about this issue and why is this course created. I hope that I've reached you, inshallah. I hope that I've hooked you, and we're going to continue, bi'idhnillah. with some of the biggest misconceptions against Islam in our next episode. This is Gabriel Al Romaani. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.